This is now another episode for the same patient, and you see once more the atrial fibrillation, the irregular ventricular rhythm, stabilization inside the VT zone, but now there is a diagnosis of SVT not performed with the PR logic, but with the wavelet algorithm. When you look at the EGM, it's clearly in favor of a conducted atrial fibrillation. So for the device, remember that there are three steps. First, the VT counter, once more, every time there is a cycle classified VS, the VT counter is reset to 0. This is probably the best discrimination for an episode of atrial fibrillation. The second step is that if you have programmed the PR logic on, there is going to be an analysis of the atrial rate and the ventricular rate. Here in this example, there's going to be a diagnosis of atrial fibrillation with real signals and fast atrial signals, no far-field R-wave oversensing. So to discriminate a conducted AF with a dual tachycardia, AF plus ventricular tachycardia, there's going to be an analysis of the stability. In this specific patient with the PR logic, the rhythm at the level of the ventricle is considered as stable with an analysis of 18 ventricular cycles. So there is a diagnosis of dual tachycardia. So there's going to be a third step, like in this example, if both the PR logic and the wavelet algorithm have been programmed, and if there is a suspicion of dual tachycardia with the PR logic, so atrial fibrillation and regular rhythm at the level of the ventricle in favor of a ventricular tachycardia, so suspicion of dual tachycardia, then there is going to be an analysis of the morphology of the signals. Now, if you look at the text of this episode, you can see the results in terms of wavelets, and you see that 7 out of 8, so more than 3 cycles, are considered as similar with a match because the percentage is higher than 70%, the program thresholds to determine the similarity. So clearly the wavelet is in favor of SVT, of a conducted atrial fibrillation, and no therapy is delivered. Now, if you look at the program parameter, you can see that in this patient, both the PR logic and the wavelets have been programmed to on. So remember, there are going to be 3 steps. First, you need to feel the VT counter, and remember that every VS cycle will reset the VT counter to 0. Then there is going to be an analysis of the PR logic. And if at the end of this analysis there is a suspicion of dual tachycardia, so atrial fibrillation plus ventricular tachycardia, there's going to be an analysis of the morphology with the wavelets. And if, like in this example, there is a match with the template, no therapy will be delivered.